Welcome back, guys. There's lots going on today that I'm going to be doing jobs wise. So this morning I've been out and got my first early seed potatoes. I've got three varieties, so I'm going to be showing you what they are. I'm also going to be clearing another raised bed today and giving that to my friend who had one given to her last week. And I'm going to be showing you a few changes that are going to be happening in my study. So there's lots of things that are going to be going on Nick's veggie patch. I'll show you them throughout the video. But as I've said, lots to be getting on with. And I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Okay, guys, so these are my first early seed potatoes. So the first variety I've got is a variety called Estima. I have grown them before. They are a really nice potato. Very good for mashing. Very good for roasting. They have a lovely, for me, they have a lovely sort of creamy kind of texture, when you cook them, they go really, really fluffy. So I've got 11 of them there. As I said, I went to a local garden centre, and the local garden centre I went to, they called Dobbies. They do seed potatoes in great big sacks, and you can fill a bag up for about £3.49. At the moment, they've currently got first early, second earlies, main crop. They've got loads on the shelf as well, in bags and in packets. I like to pick mine loose, fill a bag up for as much as get as much as you can in the bag for £3.49. But at the moment, I've just gone for the first earlies, so you can. So I'm going to chit mine now. They have got some chits on. I let them get a little bit bigger, but yeah, chit them. And with these, depending on the frost, it does say you can put these out end of February into March, but I'll let these chit, and I will probably put these out around about the middle to the end of March, and then I'll keep them under cover until they start coming up. I'll probably cover them over with the frost cloche that I've got. So that's the first one. Then we're going to move along, and I'm doing the Duke of York again. This is, I think it's Red Duke of York, but the sign just said the Duke of York. I've had Duke of York before, Red Duke. They're very good. I was recommended, or a fellow YouTuber that I follow, Jessie at Plot 37, got a very good channel. She recommended the Duke of York and said they were a very good variety of seed potatoes. So I've grown them. Had quite a few last year. They were absolutely brilliant. And I've decided to go with them again. So the first two lots, obviously Estima and the Duke of York. With the Duke of York, I was able to get 12 seed potatoes in the bag. You get a brown sort of paper bag that you put them in. As I said, it's fill the bag up as much as you can get in there for £3.49. So I I managed to get 12 of those in a bag, along with another bag. These are called Caledonian Pearl. Now, there was two varieties of the Caledonian. So there is Caledonian Pearl, which Dobbies are selling, and another one called the Caledonian Rose. Now, having looked into it, because I always Google it before I get potatoes, because sometimes their boards they have up don't always tell you if they're first, second, or main, or they don't have a lot of boards. So with the Caledonian Rose, when I Googled it, I believe it's a main crop. So that is a very new variety to me. I will get that. So I've gone for free at the moment. I've got some potato grow bags that I'll be growing them in. But yeah, I will go for probably another couple. Excuse me. So I'll have possibly 3, maybe 5, I don't know yet, varieties. But the Caledonian Rose will probably be one I go out and grab. And also I was looking at Kestrel, which is also, I believe, a main variety. So yeah, there's lots of potatoes that Dobbies do. So Dobbies, obviously, it's Scottish seed potatoes, and on their brown bags, I'll show you the brown bag now. Well, I'll zoom out and show you the brown bag now. So this is the brown bag, tells you what they do. So if you're lucky enough to get into a Dobbies that do seed potatoes, so they do Caledonian Pearl, Caledonian Rose, Cara, Charlotte, Desiree, Duke of York, Estima, Kestrel, King Edwards, Mary's Bard, Mary's Peer, Mary's Piper, Nicola, Pentland Dell, Pentland Javelin, Rocket, Sharps Express, and Wilger. I can't pronounce the bottom one. Obviously, I'm not going to go for all of those varieties, but if you're lucky, they do have all those varieties in stock, but they also have a lot on the shelves as well, in packets or in bigger bags. I think they do like 1 kilo, 2 kilo bags. So yeah, that's all the potatoes I'm going to be growing this year, guys. So the 3 that you can see in the windowsill, and potentially another 2 varieties. Also, I'll show you in a minute, I brought some herbs that I'm going to be planting in my couple of my raised beds, just to keep the pests at bay, and I will show you those in a minute. So I've got 4 lots of varieties of herbs, and I'm going to put 1 at each end in 2 raised beds. So I've earmarked 2 raised beds, or 2 beds that I built there, like kind of square oblong boxes, and I'm going to put 1 at each end. So the first variety, as you can see, is lemon thyme, very variated. So that will go in at one end of my raised bed, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another herb at the other end of the raised bed, and then I will put I will sow some vegetable seeds, probably root vegetables, possibly, or maybe something like I think these will probably be in one of the raised beds that's going to have a couple of varieties of kale. What the herbs do is, obviously, if they flower, you've got pollinating plants, pollinating herbs there for like your bees and the good insects. But what they do is they'll also deter any unwanted pests you don't want in there. So I've chosen 4 varieties that do that. So lemon thyme variated is the first one. That will help that. And I'll show you the second one. So the second one is oregano hot and spicy. I've never tried this variety of oregano before. But also again that helps control the pests, which I had lots of problems with last year. So yeah, that one's going to help as well. The third one, which is also going to help, this one everybody's seen, and this is common sage. Really good in making homemade stuffings, or just sort of kind of breaking it slightly, squashing it slightly to release that lovely sage flavour, and put it on chicken. You can either sort of chop it up finely and just sprinkle it over a whole chicken or chicken portions, or you can just stick a couple inside the chicken, permutate those lovely herby flavours into your chicken. So yeah, that's the third one I'm going to be doing, and the final one that I'm going to be doing is the traditional good old rosemary. When that flowers, that is really lovely, colourful, purpley sort of, a light purpley sort of colour. But again, rosemary, really nice herb, goes well with lamb. Also not too bad with fish. I've had it with sea bass before, so rosemary and garlic sort of sea bass, which was quite nice. So yeah, 4 lots of different herbs. So 2 will go in one bed, 2 will go in the other. So I've got rosemary, simple herb. I've got the common sage. I've got oregano hot and spicy, and we'll see if it's got a little bit of a kick to it. You like that kind of. And my final one, lemon thyme variated. So they're the herbs I'm also going to be growing this year. Okay guys, this is the other raised bed I'm going to be clearing today. This is the one I made out of a pallet. A really good pallet. Joined off, measured it, cut it down, joined off all 4 sides together with screws, and then what I did is I put black weed membrane and nailed it to this raised bed. So I'm going to clear what's in this raised bed out. So there were leeks in the first one. It was meant to be Brussels sprouts, but they didn't really materialise in that one. There was kale in the back one and lettuce in the other. So yeah, this is another raised bed that I'm going to be clearing and giving to a friend of mine. But I've also found another raised bed in my shed that she can also have, and it's that plastic one there. With that plastic one, it's one big square, or you can split it into 2s because it easily comes apart. It's just got plastic, or stiffened plastic rods that go through, so you could have it into 2 raised beds if you wanted. I did have another one like that, but I left it up the allotment. When I left the allotment, the gentleman who took over my plot, I told him I was going to leave it up there. So yeah, I'm going to be shifting that one, and then obviously swing you back round, and I will be shifting this one. I'm just going to start clearing it now. So it doesn't matter if the leeks are that small, because you can use them. They're a little bit sweeter, I think, when they're like that. So they're not as big as what obviously the card shows, but I'm not too worried about that. And then I'll use the compost that's in all 4 of those compartments to fill up containers that are going to be taking my potatoes in. I've got 2 green plastic potato sacks that I'll be putting some of my first earlies in when they're chitted and ready to go. And then there's just a few pots down here that I'll be using to put the rest of the compost in. And then my friend will be able to have this. She's going to put this in her garden because she wants to start sowing a few bits and pieces. So yeah, I'm going to get this cleared out, and then I'll come back to you once it's cleared. Okay guys, that's that raised bed almost cleared. Just a little bit more left to clear in it. As you can see, I've filled up 2 potato sacks ready to take the first early potatoes in them. But yeah, that raised bed is pretty much clear. It's still got the black sheeting down in it. I'm going to clear the rest of it, and then that is ready to go to my friends, along with the other plastic raised bed that I've found in the shed. I've got a green sheeting in the car, so what I'll do is when I go to take them both up, I'll put the ground sheet down in the car and put them 2 in there, and then I'll take them to my friend tonight, and then that will be 3 raised beds she has, with potentially a 4th one coming very, very shortly. Right guys, so the square raised bed has been cleared, and I've given it to a friend of mine who I go to bingo with, called Sam. She's taken it because she's going to be sowing and planting some things in her garden. She wants to start growing her own vegetables and salads and fruits. So she's had so far off of me 4 raised beds. One of them you can split and they become 2 raised beds. If you join it together, it's one sort of big square kind of raised bed. So she's had those off of me, and the one I gave her over the weekend has cleared this area now, and then the remaining compost that was in it, it's all been bagged up. I've got some in a couple of potato bags here, some in some pots. Obviously those potato bags are going to be used to growing some potatoes in, and then I'll have some other areas where I'll be growing potatoes in. So yeah, that's the area cleared now. Just needs a bit of a brush, and then I probably try and keep the area free, and then if I do use this area for potatoes, just put the potato bags on the side here, and hopefully, you know, I'll get some potatoes this year. So yeah, so that's all being cleared now, as I say, apart from the bags. And hopefully she's happy. She's got another raised bed ready to start her sowing season. And yeah, hopefully this year we'll all have a good growing season.